Bears are bracing for Lamar Jackson. Will he play? We'll talk about it. Ben Johnson with some interesting talk about his quarterback and the offense and efficiency. The Bears are getting ready for the Ravens. The CHGO Bears Podcast starts right now. Welcome in. This is the CHGO Bears Podcast on a Hump Day Wednesday with our live action coming up on Sunday, coming out in CS. But first, we are starting the show, as always, proudly presented by our friends at Bet365. It is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, use the code CHGO365. Get yourself $200 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 bet. Alongside my handy-dandy partner, Gregory P. Allen Braggs, and the P stands for, at least I hope,
Prepared.
Prepared.
Yeah.
All right, prepared.
We're prepared, and we are ready
Interesting.
to bring in Adam Hoge. We're prepared for a Bulls basketball season. Make sure you tune into CHGO Bulls and their post-game show, first regular season post-game show of the year this year.
Peek behind the scenes. I believe it was 5 seconds ago that you just asked me, are the Bulls playing tonight? I think.
Well, I thought it was either today or tomorrow, so I wanted to be sure. These days all mold together.
Okay.
No day but Sunday matters to me anymore.
Okay, good, and that's why you're handy-dandy, trusty Bears podcaster. Adam Hoge's at Halas Hall as we bring him in to start the show. Hoger, we're leading off. First of all, good to see you. You look fantastic. Love what you do on these Wednesdays. Second off, yes, the Bulls do play tonight. Third off, it appears that Lamar Jackson is inching towards playing. He at least was on the practice field today. That is big news. Good to see you.
Yeah, it feels like a day where I need to be in Baltimore, not at Halas Hall, because that seems to be the big story, which is why we're leading with it today. But, you know, a lot of good reporters over there in Baltimore we've been following today, and they apparently have different practice rules where the reporters can just tweet things out right away as they happen. So I don't know if those are getting funneled out here to this practice field. The Bears already said, Ben Johnson said they were going to be preparing for Lamar Jackson to play, which is obviously the smart move and kind of seems where this thing is going. But yeah, there's been some news coming out of Baltimore. It seems like Lamar Jackson is practicing today. He is limited, taking snaps behind Tyler Huntley and Cooper Rush. So it still leaves a little bit of a lingering question to me as to, A, whether or not he plays. Certainly seems like that's trending to him playing. But how effective will he be if on Wednesday he is not able to take full snaps, go full go in practice? I would think that still leaves up the possibility that Sunday, even if Lamar Jackson's playing, he might not be full go. And, of course, that is so important because Lamar Jackson is a tremendous passer, but a big reason why he's able to do what he does is also because of his legs. So if he's limited in any capacity with his legs because of that hamstring injury, that could still help the Bears in some fashion.
Well, riddle me this, Batman. Do you know what quarterback in the NFL leads all quarterbacks in yards per carry? Anybody want to gander a guess on that one?
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is the correct answer. That'd be 7.9 yards per carry. So to Hoge's point, if he can't run around, as we all know with Lamar, it will impact him. It will impact the Ravens. This is a big deal. Gregory, get in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so we just showed here on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, Jeff Zrebiec from Baltimore, you know, putting out some different. Thank you, Zrebiec. Thank you for the question.
What'd you call him?
Zrebiec.
Okay, Zrebiec.
It's
a tough name.
It's a tough name. It's Jeff Zrebiec. He does a great job. He'll be on Hogan Johns on our preview episode on Friday, by the way.
Okay, cool. And shout out to that. And but he's been putting out some different content this morning. Just came out like 20 minutes ago. So there you see Lamar Jackson, a picture of him on the field. They actually were sharing some video. I don't know if we're going to bring that to the program here today. It is on Twitter and available for you guys, but you can kind of see him. I don't want to say it's definitely gingerly.
Like, he looks terrible.
I'm not going to say terrible.
He looks terrible.
But I wouldn't. like everyone's saying he's back. It's going to be interesting to see how the week progresses. Something tells me, Adam, that this is going to go on throughout the week, whether you want to call it gamesmanship or not. I think this will go all the way to a game time decision type of designation by Sunday, and let the Bears continue to think about this.
Well, and back to Hoge in a second, but they scored 3 points last week with Cooper Rush and Tyler Huntley both getting snaps. So this matters in a big time way. Hoge, back to you.
Oh, 100% it does. But I still think the smarter thing to do, and even for us, is to look at this from the perspective of assuming Lamar Jackson's playing, assuming that and you know what? I'm sorry. I'm doing that because they're 1-5. Unless that leg is completely amputated, that dude needs to play this week. They need to win this game so bad. And I just find it hard to believe that if he's out there at practice at all on Wednesday, that he's not going to be a go by Sunday. Because this is not a let's be careful, we'll save him for next week type of situation. They have to win this game. They need Lamar Jackson to play this week. So I would say it's far more likely Lamar Jackson's playing in a limited capacity than him not playing at all.
I think that's fair, although the other side of that coin is they're 1-5, and do you want to risk the future of your franchise when, hey, we know how it is with hamstring injuries. You try to play a guy with a hamstring, it can lead to bigger injuries if you try. We saw this happen earlier in the year, right, with Jalen Johnson. Like, you got to be careful with these kind of things. Soft tissue injuries are nothing to mess with. So,
sorry to interrupt you. They also play on Thursday night, so it's a very quick week for them.
That's a good point as well. So we also have Dan Graziano's report. Now, this came out before Lamar Jackson returned to the practice field, but we'll bring it to the table anyway. And Dan Graziano, per ESPN.com, they released an article here this morning on one of his injury notes, and he goes on to basically say, Jackson did not take part in practice on Monday, but he's had a couple of conversations with people familiar with the situation that led Dan Graziano to believe Jackson might miss another game while recovering from the injury and return in week 9 against the Dolphins. And as Carm just highlighted, that would be on Thursday. So it's going to be interesting to see how this progresses. Obviously, they're 1-5, and so they've got a lot on the line, but 1-5 in the AFC is already kind of a nail in the coffin in a lot of ways as well.
Well, the only reason it's not for them is because that division doesn't look great. I think, I'll be honest with you, I'm tempted to put a bet on the Bengals to win that division at this point because I'm just not a believer in the Steelers. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, maybe you can talk yourself into give them a few extra days, get ready for what should be an easier game against the Dolphins on Thursday. What I'm going to do here, though, guys, is I'm going to be Ben Johnson, and I'm going to pretend that we know he is playing. That's how we're going to prepare. And I'd like to just talk about that, talk about this team from that perspective, even with a healthy Lamar Jackson. Are they still good? Because I think that's a fair question. I watched the Chiefs-Ravens game over the other day, dove into a little bit more because that's the game where a lot of these guys, including Roquan Smith, got hurt in that game. Lamar Jackson got hurt in that game. But, first half, it's not exactly like this team looked that great. I realized they were going against the Chiefs, but remember the Chiefs turned around and lost the following week too. There was a moment where Lamar Jackson had a delay of game followed by a delay of game followed by an intentional grounding. Again, that was not Tyler Huntley. That was not Cooper Rush. That was Lamar Jackson with the starters in Kansas City just a few weeks ago. And that's a sequence that we're used to seeing like at Soldier Field in the past with some of the quarterbacks that we've covered. Obviously Lamar Jackson's really, really good. I'm not trying to take anything away from that. What I'm trying to say though, is something seems to be broken with this team really since they blew that lead to the Buffalo Bills in week 1. Defensively, they're really not good, in really any category. EPA per play, they're 30th. Success rate, they're 30th. They are bad against both the pass and the run. I know that they've had injuries, but it's one thing to, be in the middle of the pack because you've had injuries. They are towards the bottom in most categories defensively. And that goes to the start of the year, starting in week 1 when they blew that lead to the Buffalo Bills. So, and I saw early on in that game against the Chiefs that they were really struggling to keep any type of contain. So the point here being, even with Lamar Jackson, this can be a winnable game for the Chicago Bears. And I honestly, the more and more I look at this, watch the tape, look at the numbers, this 6.5-point line is disrespectful.
Yeah, and I think that is when we talk about the layers of trying to predict whether Lamar will play or not, Vegas is typically ahead of things in the fact that they haven't either taken that line off until that decision is made. Right now, the Bears are 6.5-point underdogs, so that is a huge number. And when you talk about things kind of falling apart or something broken in Baltimore, the Baltimore Sun reported a couple days ago, after falling to 1-5, the Ravens have removed the players' ping pong table, video game consoles, basketball hoop, and cornhole boards from their locker room. So that's also interesting as well. So I don't know what's going on there, but it seems like it's come to Jesus moment for Baltimore right now.
Well, and let's just think about this, though, because I have been talking about it's been a party in the Bears locker room for, I don't know, about 5 years now. But they don't have a ping pong table. I don't see that. They don't have, what else is in that thing? They got basketball. What else is there?
Yeah, they got cornhole.
We don't have no cornhole.
And video game consoles.
No, I didn't see any.
Well,
maybe somewhere else.
The Bears do have a lounge where I think they have a lot of that stuff. It's in a separate room. I don't know if they have all stuff. Not sure about cornhole, but first of all, it's bags. What are we doing with this cornhole nonsense? This is Chicago. But yeah, at some point the parents got to take the toys away from the kids as punishment. And that's what's going on in Baltimore right now. I view all of that as a giant red flag, to be frank.
It's not great, and you're underlining it here, but just to make it even more basic, look, the Ravens gave up 41 points to Buffalo opening week. That ain't great. Buffalo's a very good team, though. They gave up 38 when they lost to the Lions. Detroit's a very good team, but 38's not great. They gave up 37 to Kansas City. You can sort of accept that, too. That's Patrick Mahomes. That's the Chiefs. They also gave up 44 to the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud's got 5 touchdown passes on the year when he's not playing the Baltimore Ravens. He's got 4 against the Ravens. So a lot of quarterbacks are having a significant amount of success. Perhaps this will all be fixed by Roquan Smith coming back. I highly doubt that, but that was a talking point today, and Ben was asked about Roquan. So let's hear what Ben had to say about the former Bear turned Raven who's been playing in the Pro Bowl, but also banged up at the same time coming back this week.
Yeah, no, I mean, he is fast. I think that's what stands out. He diagnoses quickly. See ball, get ball sideline to sideline. If our offensive lineman's responsible for him in the running game, we got to be on our horse because he's fast, and then he finds a way to shed. He finds a way to get around blocks and be around the football. So we're going to have to do our best to cover him up. It seems like he's been an all-pro now for 5 years in a row, I think, some outstanding number like that. So he is playing at a super high level. And I know they'll welcome him back on that defense. He's gonna help them out.
Yes, they will. And look, Hoge, no newsflash here, but Roquan Smith, that's a good football player.
Yeah, he is. And by the way, he's dealing with a hamstring too, and he did go to practice Monday. So if you want to, compare those situations, Roquan seemingly at least a little ahead of Lamar in terms of getting back and being effective for this game. I know Roquan, he talked to the media on Monday, unlike Lamar Jackson. So another indication. By the way, not to go back to Lamar real quick, but the Ravens also tweeted out a short video of Lamar practicing. And I don't want to read into that too much, but that seems, I don't know what a team would do that if there was
good underline.
This is a video from Jeff Zrebeck, who's going to be on Hogan Johns on Friday, but there's Lamar running there. So
I'm saying that there was an actual Ravens video. They put him out on the practice field dapping up one of the coaches. Sure. I think it was T. Martin. So, if there was any doubt about his status, I'm not sure they would have. Anyway, I got off on a tangent there. Look, Roquan Smith is still a good player. But his effectiveness with that hamstring, we'll see if that affects his speed at all. I don't know if he's been quite the same player as he has been the all-pro level even before he got hurt, but he's still really, really good. He helps his defense, and getting him back would go a long way because if I'm the Ravens right now, I'm worried about what I'm seeing on tape from the Bears about these offensive linemen suddenly getting on these combination blocks, getting to the second level on these linebackers, and having somebody as quick as Roquan Smith and as elusive, being able to shed blocks like we saw Roquan do so many times here in Chicago. Having him back would certainly help you defend what is suddenly a very potent rushing attack that the Bears have.
Well, look, the one game they won, granted it was against the Browns, but Roquan was all over the field. He had 15 tackles. He was a menace and a half. Yeah. So if it's that Roquan, that's not good for the Bears.
I definitely think he's always around the football. When he's going downhill, he's one of the better linebackers in football. But I also think there has been play callers that take advantage of him in coverage. And we saw that last year in the playoffs a little bit. You saw that earlier here in this season. And Ben Johnson knows what he's doing. So, he's gassing him up in the press conference, but I'm sure he's going to be looking for opportunities to try to take advantage of some mismatches.
Speaking of gassing him up, you're doing a great job today. Really well done. I think you're on your game. Absolutely crushing it.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, Hoge, hang on right there. We will move on to a little bit more in-house with the Bears and what Ben has to say about his offense. We're going to do that next, but first. A shout-out to our friends at Bet365. OMG, I love our friends at Bet365. They are simply the best.
They are.
Thursday night football, you got the $10 safety net bet. Sunday night football, the $365,000 jackpot. Monday night football, 50% super profit boost. Taking on single game parlays. This is the place you want to be. Look, there's also breaking news from Bet365. Right now, new customers, you get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. You sign up by using the code CHGO365. You deposit $10, place a bet for $5, and you get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, players, props, futures, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. You do have to be 21 or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling, referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only.
That's right. And listen, Carm.
Yes, Greg.
Let's be real for a second.
Let's be real.
Let's do it. I mean, the world has gone soft. Everyone gets a trophy for just showing up. Everything needs to be bubble wrapped. Well, soda used to have some kick, and now it's all about pretty colors and easy fizz.
I wish there was some RC in this coffee.
Well, RC Cola is not a soft drink, just a damn good cola.
100.
It's the original cola that doesn't fold under pressure. RC is an OG cola in a world of spineless soft drinks. No trends, no gimmicks, no glow up.
Delicious.
RC hasn't changed its stripe since 1905 when Mark Carman was covering the Chicago Cubs winning their first World Series because it didn't need to.
That was 06.
It's the same bold, crisp flavor. It always has been. RC Cola tastes like a punch in the thirst. Do yourself a favor, grab some RC at your local store. Stock up for all your football parties, and RC is the move for whatever you are doing.
Righty. As we move on to the Bears in-house portion of the Hoge hit from Halas Hall on this handy-dandy trusty Wednesday. Gregory's focused on something over there. You okay?
Don't you worry about what I'm focused on. You just focus on yourself.
Well, I want to talk to you. I miss you. Even though you're right next to me, I still miss you. You know how that works sometimes in relationships? One's on the phone, the other's on the phone, and you're not together. We're all together here on the CHGO Bears podcast. Yes, Hoge. All right, so, hey, it was interesting with Ben. Mark Grody led off the old Q&A today, and my guy asked basically the question that's sort of been a talking point this week, like, hey, if Caleb gets going and he does everything right, is this team going to be good? And this was Ben's answer to, hey, is it basically all on Caleb right now because everything else is clicking? The defense looks good. The run game is there. Caleb was the only thing that didn't play well last week. So if he does, are you guys great?
I don't think we've played a collective 60 minutes yet as a team. And I think it will be a beautiful thing when that happens in all three phases. Offensively, we've had times where the passing games look good. We've had times where the running games look good. But it just hasn't come together as an entire team or entire unit quite yet. And so, to his point, it'll be a fun thing to watch when that happens.
All right, so there it is. He's putting it as a whole unit here. Hoge, what's your read on that answer?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's completely fair to say that Caleb Williams needs to play better. And I do think that we're going to see. Look, it's just how the NFL works. We're going to see dips in the running. Just because the Bears have been running the ball like crazy the last 2 weeks doesn't mean it's going to be the same thing every single week. They're going to come up against teams and really good players that can stop the run, that are not as easy to double team at the point of attack and then climb to the second level. And so those are the games where the quarterback's going to have to play better, where you're not going to be able to get a win like you did against the Saints with the inaccuracy issues that we saw from Caleb. That being said, we've also seen him play well in other games this season when the running game wasn't working at all. So it's just sort of a give and take throughout the season. I agree with Ben Johnson in saying that they have not played a full 60-minute game yet. And I hope it is beautiful when that happens. Very few teams are able to do that, by the way. Those are the teams that go on to win Super Bowls. And I don't know that the Bears might be able to put that together a few times this season, but they're still climbing towards that. One thing that Ben's remained consistent on, though, and I love this, is that he just keeps reiterating, like, the plan here is to peak in December and ideally January. It's not here in late October.
Yeah, I mean, I totally. What's funny about analytics is some will tell you that the way he played against the Saints was actually better than how he played against Washington. And, like, for me, that frustrates me because what we saw in Washington, like, okay, everybody's like, well, he hasn't played well since he come back from the bye. Well, the Washington game, there's a lot of context missing from that. A Roma Dunze touchdown called back, Olamide Zaccheaus drop pass at the end that he'd still be running to California right now had that been, brought in like it should have been. And then there was some obvious drops in the Saints game, but I certainly can understand the valid criticism of the erraticness from Caleb in the Saints game. That being said, that's one game. Now, if you try to combine that with Washington, now all of a sudden it's a trend and not a blip. I feel like it's more of a blip, and I'm anticipating a bounce-back performance from Caleb Williams and the passing game offense here this Sunday for a lot of the reasons that you pointed out, Hoge, that the Ravens defense right now just isn't good.
Yeah, and look, this is why in addition to analytics, we have Brickalytics and Hogalytics, and why you gotta know what the context is and understand what's beyond just some of these numbers and the tape. I mean, I think it would be ridiculous to say that he played better in the Saints game than the Commanders game. That's not what the tape shows. But the tape also shows that he's overall a lot better than he played in the Saints game, in my opinion. And I do think some of this accuracy stuff, it's probably going to be a little bit of a wave that we're riding, but I do think it'll get better as the season goes along.
$5 super chat from Greg Baggs Jr., one of my favorite people. We just need to be patient, he says. They will get it right. It's just a matter of time. It's interesting that you say that, Baggs Jr., because Ben was asked about Caleb and how much he should be running against the Ravens and whether or not he's running too much. He gave a whole deep dive here, really, on efficiency and what Ben's looking for. I thought this was interesting.
I think the most important thing is that we're playing efficient football. Throughout the season so far, we've been behind the sticks quite a bit. And so whether that's penalties, whether that's negative runs, whether that's sacks, whether that's simply, like you're alluding to, we're not taking what's given to us. We're trying to force something that might not be as easy to get. And so I think as a whole offense, that's our mission right now. Is if we can just stay on schedule, stay on track, then this thing's going to come to life. We got some really talented players in every position room, and so would like to just be more efficient as an offense. We'd like to throw more completions. We would like to just continue to move the ball forward. And then when we do that, we have to be better in the red zone. I think that's the other Achilles heel that we have right now. We're making it down there, but we're not scoring 7 points. We're just settling for field goals last couple weeks. So if we do those two things on offense, I think you'll see improvement.
So he summed it up all there. And by the way, I think there was one intrepid reporter during training camp that asked him, hey, is this all about just playing on time? And Ben didn't really want to answer that, which was a great job by Ben dodging that brilliant question by me. But speaking of what he's talking about here, Hoge, he was also asked about Colston Loveland today, and I think part of the efficiency will be getting the tight end together, and he was very complimentary about Loveland and how he's playing, and there's kind of been an overreaction, perhaps even on this show, about Tyler Warren, or just, underlining that maybe they got that pick wrong, and maybe they did, but that doesn't mean that Colston Loveland still can't be a really good player, and Ben seems real confident about him.
Yeah, and I liked what I saw from Colston Loveland against the Saints. And let's be real. We have a situation where it might be possible that Cole Kmet doesn't play, and that has he missed a game in his career?
He never has.
103 straight.
So there you go. I mean, yeah, so that would be very, very rare, and I don't want to rule him out on a Wednesday. I'm not trying to do that, but what I'm trying to say is, I think it's on the table. I'd be shocked if he even practices today after that back injury. So there's a world in which Colston Loveland, even if Cole plays, is just going to be asked to do more, where you see the snaps shift more in his direction this week. So, pro tip out there for anybody like myself who might have Trey McBride on a bye weekend, you might want to pick up Colston Loveland in your fantasy league, because I think this is actually a decent matchup for him, and I like the direction that he's gone here recently. And you got to think that there's some motivation behind the scenes too from his coaching staff and front office to get him more involved and to get him, maybe his first NFL touchdown sooner rather than later. I mean, Ben even admitted today that the production isn't where any of them thought it would be to this point, but that's despite the fact that they really like everything he's doing, and I can buy that. I that's why I remain bullish on Loveland coming around this season, and I think it could start this weekend in Baltimore with a big opportunity.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, Hoge, the Ravens allow 67 yards per game to opposing tight ends. That's the fifth most in the league.
Yeah.
And
the opportunity is going to be there with the target share. I think even if Cole plays, I think that the snaps are going to shift more to Colston's favor just because of the injury.
Just for the record, I got that wrong. It's not 103 yet. It's 90 games for Cole straight, and he's played through everything. So I'll be disappointed if he doesn't play just for him, because that's an incredible streak that he's got going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said it before. We've talked about it the last few days, but I still have very high belief in Colston Loveland, and I believe, just like last year with Rome Odunze and anyone that had questions about whether he was worth being a top 10 pick, I think just like Rome last year, Colston is showing on tape that he is, and he just hasn't gotten the ball yet. I think it's just that simple. And when he isn't getting the ball, when you talk about this no block, no rock, standard that Ben Johnson set way back in the offseason, Colston is living by that. He has been blocking his ass off and probably had his best blocking performance here against the Saints here last Sunday.
For somebody coming off a shoulder injury, he's been very physical, I would say, for a rookie tight end who's undersized, yet he's out there just throwing himself around. Can we get that $10 super chat up there from Brandon Ferguson, Steven? Because I think Hoge should address this before he goes, because Hoge is our QB whisperer. We just don't talk about it too much. $10
you were.
Well, I'm not even a whisperer.
He's the press conference whisperer.
I'm a guru.
He was
I'm not a whisperer.
He was kind of on a heater with McCown and then Bajent, but then he put all his chips in C.J. Stroud. And
you want a Bajent stat since you brought it up?
No,
I know you do.
Hey, I gotta say, Greg, that was on you.
That's on me.
Yeah. I was just
said
looking,
the B word.
I was just looking at the run game. How efficient Caleb's been in the run game. We'll talk about this more in the C block after you go, Hoge. But Caleb's 140th in the NFL at 3.3 yards per carry running the football, yardage per carry. Tyson Bajent 133.5. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Brandon Ferguson, you like that, Hoge?
Yeah. No, I like Brandon Ferguson's super chat here.
Don't you like this?
$10.
$10. I think his accuracy issue is him still getting used to being under center and having his left foot forward. He, of course, being Caleb here. That's a hard adjustment for a young quarterback. Can you speak to that, Hoge?
Well, okay. That would force me to go back and it's a fair point. This is why people get paid in the NFL to look at this stuff very, very closely, to go look at every snap versus when he's under center, his accuracy under center versus his accuracy in shotgun, and then compare it to his shotgun accuracy last year when his foot was the other way. I will tell you this, though. I am so sick of talking about whose foot is forward in the shotgun. It was the last quarterback. Now it's this in this snip, snap, snip, snap. They did it to Justin. I think it's a fair point to bring up, but I like how his footwork has been in the pocket this year. So I don't know.
The bigger point that he's making, which I think is fair, is that, look, he is being asked to do a lot of things this year that he's never been asked to do. The learning curve has been steep all through training camp. Here's a play this long, go up to the line, call it, send guys in motion, and then get back in the pocket and be comfortable and deliver the football. As talented as Caleb is, it's a lot of new stuff, and for anybody, it's going to take some time. But I think to Ben's credit, to the Bears' credit, they are not backing off on trying to find the exact ceiling or somewhere around the ceiling of what Caleb can be versus let's just try to get through the week and win games. If you find his ceiling, that's when you can hopefully find the Super Bowl. So I'm pro growing pains, and right now the Bears are winning with growing pains, so it's a win.
Well, yeah, I mean, you even heard Ben talk about, Drew Dahlman having to go through a similar thing where he said they're asking a lot of the center, from a mental challenging standpoint, and how he's gotten better here over the last few games is him starting to get accustomed to what Ben's asking him to do, not just, as a blocker, but as somebody that's responsible for things outside of that pre-snap. So go ahead, Hoge. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't want to get you guys too far behind on your break, so I'll leave you with this. Our friend Harry Tynowitz would always ask me, and we miss him, any hoagies? So here's a hoagie for you.
Right. Love you, Harry.
I was looking at some of the interception numbers today. The Bears defense is intercepting right now an insane 5.64% of opposing passes. To put that in perspective of like how high of a number that is, the next closest team is the Jaguars, and they were on a really good run earlier this season. So the Bears are number one in that category. The next closest team is the Jags at 3.57%. And I think there's only 5 teams total that are even in the threes, in the 3% range. And the Bears are 2 whole percentage points higher than that at 5.64. You can look at that 2 ways. 1, that's awesome. 2, it's just not sustainable over the course of the whole season. And a couple other things that we got to look at too in this matchup against the Ravens. Bears plus 11 in turnover margin in the league right now. That's number 1. The Ravens all the way more towards the bottom at -7. Going back to the interceptions, the Bears have 11. The Ravens have only intercepted 1 pass all season to this point, with 3 total takeaways. The Bears, of course, have 16 takeaways at this point. So, again, depends on how you want to look at it. That's either a huge advantage for the Bears in a game where they're going to probably have to win the turnover margin to win. You would think that would favor the Bears based on those numbers. Or if you want to look at it more on the negative side, the law of averages when it comes to turnover luck sometimes. At some point, that's going to start shrinking a little bit, you would think, between those 2 teams. So hopefully it's next week and not this Sunday.
Yeah.
What's the exact number? What was that exact percentage before you leave, Hoge?
5.64%.
So if you round up, Greg, how many passes out of 100 do the Bears pick off?
Well, that's 1 in 20. So that's 5 in 100.
One of the
he asked you to round up.
I asked that question just to prove how incredibly moronic this person is that I'm sitting next to occasionally when it comes to math.
What did you say?
Did you? Because I knew you saw Otto Jonesboro in the chat saying he picks off 1 in 20, but yet you wouldn't listen to my question.
No, I didn't. Because I just think the other point of this all is, because I don't care about your stupid math quizzes. To me, I also think the other side of that coin is the fact that they've been able to have that percentage without Jalen Johnson is crazy.
Good one.
Yeah.
Like that point.
The fact that they've had very little pass rush with that percentage is crazy.
Yep.
So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, those pass rush numbers are the ones I didn't give you because they are not good still.
I mean,
Like
the fact that they're getting these interceptions without a pass rush, and now these last couple weeks, Montez Sweat, the only couple times he has gotten to, the quarterback, they've resulted in a sack fumble. So I don't know, man. It's pretty. They're very opportunistic at this point.
Let me do the math question one more time. If you went into Taco Bell and I offered you 5.6 cheesy cordita crunches, but you couldn't get 5.6 because I gave you the whole but I told you round up. How many cheesy cordita crunches would you get?
6?
Yes, 6.
6.
See, we're all about learning here on a Wednesday.
That was good. You rounded up.
So what,
Not
like
with a lot of
30 out of 100?
Correct.
You get
Look,
30
Jack-
cheesy gordita crunches?
Very good. Look, he just did the 30 out of 100. That's a gold star. Hoge, you got anything else?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, my son's coming home with math homework and fractions and common denominators and subtracting and
Yeah, we're doing that.
why do we have to know all this stuff? I can't. I'm sure he's in 5th grade and I can't help him. It's ridiculous.
Well, don't feel bad. My mom taught for 40 years, and she was trying to help Addie with her math homework. And when I got home, she was like, I can't do this. Because they
teach it all different
Yeah,
now.
they teach
Yeah.
it completely differently now. So
I'm working on it with young Beckett, but more importantly, he played fantastic last night in the Play Hard Hoops basketball league. That's more important. Just focus on sports. Math's overrated. There's calculators. Hoge, you're
Okay.
right hand, left hand, make the lefty layup. That's what all.
go
8,
get
9,
us
10,
an
11
update on Tyreek Stevenson.
Yeah, go get us an update. Yeah.
Okay, I will. You'll see that on Twitter shortly, I'm sure.
All right. Hoge, great stuff. Hit the like button for Hoge on the way out, and we got more Ben Johnson coming up, at least. And then Greg Braggs has one of the most interesting graphics I've ever seen in Greg Bragg's graphic history. It's about explosive plays. It's going to be explosive coming up next. But first, best thing that's happened around here lately is that Factor is back on board with us, getting us healthier, looking at you.
I need that for the winter.
We all need it. More variety, too, more meals. You got a wider selection of weekly meal options. They gave us the options of what to choose from. There's like literally 7,000
I just
things on
ordered
it.
6 meals myself here coming up.
Yeah, and hey, listen, we're all trying to get to the next level. Support your wellness goals. Enjoy even more friendly meals. They've got a new Mediterranean diet. You're supposed to live forever when you go on the Mediterranean diet. That's a good option for you. It's packed with protein, good for you fats. That's the good stuff there. They got the global favors, Asian-inspired meals too. Bold flavors influenced by China, by Thailand, and more. So delicious. Eat smart at factormeals.com/CHGO50 off. Use that code CHGO50 off. 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Did you hear what I just said? Free breakfast for 1 year. That's CHGO50 off at factormeals.com. 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Start the day right. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer is only valid for new Factor customers with the code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
That's right. And shout out to our good friends down the street at CHSN. Chicago Sports Network is the official TV and streaming home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, broadcasting over 300 live games per year. And listen here, CHSN offers the all-access plan for $30 a month that gives you access to all games and programming on the network. But they also have individual team plans for $19.99 a month, and that gives you access to the games of the teams you love the most. So CHSN is also available on Xfinity, DirecTV Stream, and Fubo. You can sign up to watch CHSN at chsn.com, so make sure you visit them for more details. Bulls and Blackhawks seasons are officially underway, so make sure you hit up CHSN.
Bulls Pistons tonight. Yeah, we got the old Bulls and the Pistons tonight. Check out CHGO Bulls today, pregame, postgame. Their preview episode's amazing if you haven't seen that. A lot of good stuff coming out, as always, from our CHGO Bulls crew. I will be at the United Center tonight, so if any Bears fans are there and you see me, if you say hello, I will, Yeah, that's right. I'll buy beers tonight. Let's go. That's Bulls, C-Carm, beer on me. You coming out?
No.
Okay, fine. No problem. Greg Braggs is the greatest graphic in Braggs history. Why don't you got excited about this? Explosive plays, and there's something good going on for the Bears. Look at Big Ben looming over it.
Yeah, I want
together.
Yeah, shout out to Marcus Mosher. He does some different things for Locked On and also Fansided, and he brought this graphic to the table, and I'll share it with you guys now. And it lists the most explosive teams in the NFL. Most big plays per game through week 7, and look who is at the very, very top of this list. And Marcus Mosher went on to tweet, "Congrats, Chicago, you got a head coach," was his caption to this graphic, and rightfully so, because you'll see through 6 games, and that's the interesting highlight of this, they have 27 rushes of 10 yards or more.
All right.
21 passes of 20 yards or more.
Ding.
That's 48 big plays if I do my brickalytics provided from Marcus. Big plays per game, 8 per game, which is almost a full play per game over the second best, which is the Los Angeles Rams with Sean McVay over there at 7.1 big plays per game. The interesting underlining of all this is they have 27 rush plays of 10 yards or more. That is by far the most in the NFL. The Jets actually with 25, Colts with 24, Ravens with 25. Colts obviously have a pretty good rushing attack, wouldn't you say? But the Bears have more somehow, some way. And then to me, the thing that's really interesting to this too is when you look at the 5 teams that have more big plays through the passing game of 20 yards or more, all of them have played 7 games, while the Bears have only played 6.
Let's go.
So they're racking up these numbers, with everyone for the most part, with the exception of a few teams having, played 7 games. So this just underlines and really highlights to show you what Ben Johnson is all about. He's doing this despite the fact that he said today that they haven't played a complete game on offense. It took them through the bye week to get their run game going. I guess the biggest question is how is he able to do this with the fact that every week we're talking about the issues that they still have to overcome. This goes to show you when he talks about earlier today, when they have it all come together, this is really going to come to life. If what's coming is going to come to life, then what is this?
Right.
I mean, this is pretty incredible and underlines just how lucky we are to have Ben Johnson as our head coach.
Well, we are very lucky, and let me get into everything that you just did there, but I do have to nitpick here. Who put that graphic together? Was that Steven or was that Greg? It's you. Did you see what you did wrong? Can you put that graphic back up there?
What's the matter with it?
Because Marcus Mosher deserves respect. 86,000 followers on Twitter, and you Mackist him.
I'm sorry.
You Mackist Marcus.
Okay.
And as a Marcus,
just relax. Just focus, okay?
I am focused. I just want to make sure.
All right. I apologize to Marcus.
You apologize to Marcus. Okay, great.
I apologize to Marcus.
Now let me answer your question because you put it in a great way. How, if they're already at this point, what is it going to look like when they are really hitting on all cylinders?
Right.
Which is a fantastic question to ponder. And the answer is I have no idea, but it's going to be sweet, really, really sweet if they get off the ground. Now, how do they, to the level that Ben Johnson thinks they can get to, the reason why he took this job, all the things. So you want me to?
I mean, the Cowboys have 23 plays of passing plays of 20 yards or more. They've been a pretty good passing attack this year. The Patriots with 24, 20 yards or more.
The only negative.
The Bucks with 27.
Right.
The Seahawks with 27. Those are, and then the Rams with 30 of passing plays of 20 yards or more. But all 5 of those teams with 7 games, and the Bears only with 6.
Right.
And that's just incredible.
It is, but you do have to at least throw a little cold water on it in the teams that the Bears have played. They have not been going up against the NFL's best to this point.
Yeah, but you could say that almost about every team in the league. You really could. I mean, the Bears have played the Lions, who are a good team. And how many great teams are there in the NFL right now? If you go look at the rankings, like you're going to be hard pressed to say that every team. I mean, the Patriots are another team that have played like all the bad teams in the NFL. The majority of their teams on their schedule so far have been 1 win or two win teams. So,
what defensive metric do you want to go by just as far as best in the league? You want to go by points? Just make it real basic?
I mean, however you want to go with it. I understand where you're...
The best team that the Bears have faced defensively this year are the Vikings and the Lions, who are outside the top 10, all right? I think I'm good. Am I not good? Just look, I'm not trying to... I'm just putting a drop of cold water. I'm not trying to put a bucket.
No, I get it. But I think it's fair to say that you could say that about most teams, that... Their schedule isn't riddled with nothing but better teams.
Right.
And the Bears, the next 3 games, aren't playing good defenses.
For me, the bigger takeaway here is that Caleb Williams and the passing offense is actually taking these shots. They didn't even take these opportunities last season. It was one of my biggest critiques of Caleb, is he wasn't pushing the ball downfield to some really talented receivers. When you factor in DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, who came in as a rookie with one of his greatest skill sets, was supposed to be catching 50-50 balls, wasn't even getting opportunities, and even Keenan Allen at the time. Yep. Now Caleb's actually taking those chances, and you saw it on the graphic. They're converting on a lot of them, and you could see the offense is doing substantially better than it did last season.
Yep. Who would you say is the most explosive offense in football right now?
Hold that thought.
Hold on. Who would you say is the most explosive offense in football right now?
I would guess Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, let's go to them. Tampa Bay has 44 big plays through 7 games. I would have said the Cowboys with the way they've played this year. Only 39 big plays on the year. Those both in 7 games. The Bears, 48 in 7 games. I'm building the statue of Ben Johnson right now.
I think that's a good move, and just the fact the Bears are even in the conversation seems insane. And by the way, point-wise, if you want to get a little nervous about things, the Packers, Vikings, and Lions are 10, 11, and 12 in the NFL. So, just remember, we are in the Bears are ahead of the Vikings right now, but it's a competitive little division that the NFC North is, despite the fact.
If they wouldn't have blown it against the Vikings, they'd be the number 1 team in the NFC.
But first, we got a big finish coming, but first. Hey, shout out to our friends at Monarch Money, which is going to make your financial life all that much easier. Gregory, you're loving it. Don't leave money on the table when you're making good money, like you, the big podcaster that you are over there. You don't need to track every dollar, but ignoring your finances, buddy, and just buying Jack and Coke or whiskey and Coke or cigars and Taco Bell, that's not good either. Monarch helps you stay informed so nothing slips through the cracks. You don't want that. I'm talking to myself here. By the way, Monarch, they're not just another finance app. This is the best app in the budgeting app world, named so by the Wall Street Journal. And you can even give access to your financial advisor. You've got one of those at no extra cost, which is sweet. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code CHGO at monarchmoney.com. In your browser, you get half off for the year. 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code CHGO. Check it out, monarchmoney.com. Your financial life will get a whole lot better.
And I want to give a shout out to the fine people at Shady Rays. They've been with us here since day 1 of CHGO Sports.
I just ordered a new pair and got it in the mail today. Jackie finally likes, what I look like as far as the sunglasses.
Well, that's because Shady Rays is changing the game. They're made for real life, seriously good looking, durable, polarized, and not stupidly expensive. But hey, at some point, Mark, you're going to lose your pair.
You know I am.
You're a very forgetful person, and at your age, sometimes you're going to lose things.
That's true.
But guess what? Shady Rays takes care of people like you, because here's the wildest thing. If you lose or break them, even on day 1, Shady Rays will give you a brand new pair, no guilt trip, just replacements. Shady Rays is the eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use the code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Our friends at Shady Rays, and I love you, Gregory.
I love you.
It was very sweet today.
Shut up, Sarah.
Greg was on the phone with Hoge when we were doing our pre-show extravaganza, and you told Hoge that you loved him.
Yeah.
He didn't get it back, but you said it.
It's one of my tricks to the trade I've been doing since high school is as I hang up with people, friends, doesn't matter who you are, I'll say, all right, love you, just to see if they'll just instinctually say it back. Because, like, with your family or your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, you'll, all right, talk to you later. All right, love you too, bye. And then you hang up real quick. And every once in a while, I'll just get someone on the bait and switch.
Is this because deeply you just want to be loved more?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that
so, like, today, Hoge was like, all right, thanks, guys. And I was like, all right, love you. And it's just like, click.
Well, he works with you every day.
When I do it with Steven, I say love you, and he goes, nope, and then he hangs up.
Works with you every day. Although did go on a couple vacations now with you. That's deep.
A couple vacation, not a couple's vacation, just for clarity.
A couple of vacations.
A couple
not as
of
a couple.
vacation, not a couple's vacation.
There is some speculation of what's going on, which is great. If you
there
guys ever have
was
news.
anything going on, we all know I'm the big spoon.
Well, how do you feel about that, Steven?
I want to go on a different show.
Big Spoon. Big Spoon Greg. Okay, we don't need to go into that visual. Let's move along back to, I should say, our friend Ben Johnson, because there's one other clip that I thought...
He is our friend. We love him.
I think
I do love him.
He's not going to say it back either.
You might.
You
might not.
Cubs fan.
And by the way, somebody asked in the chat, where do the Bears rank as far as points giving up in the NFL? They're 25th at 25.8 points per game. The Packers are 10th at 20.8, tied with the Vikings, also 20.8. That's how tying works. And the Vikings, I'm sorry, I just made a mistake. Packers are tied with the Colts at 20.8.
See, you said you were going to start admitting.
I just did.
When you got things wrong.
I just
today. There
did.
it is.
20.8 for the Packers, 21.6 for the Vikings, 21.7 for the Lions. Back to back to back.
It's a lot of math.
Bears are 4 points worse, but perhaps getting better now. And we've got you got these things that are outside the realm, outside the norm. They're not going to give up 52 points to the Lions again, right? So that's skewing the numbers. We can delve, that's a fair thing to kind of pull out as an outlier, at least a little bit. Although against the NFL's best right now, the Bears had trouble. Hopefully that'll change.
I thought we were going to hear from Ben Johnson.
We are going to hear from Ben Johnson. Greg, thank you. So Ben was asked about Caleb running, and Caleb's running a lot. If you look at it right now, and I have these notes somewhere. Carm again messing up.
It's okay. It's in C block.
No, I got it. So Caleb is 69th in the NFL in rushing yards with 106. All right, that includes quarterbacks, running backs, everybody. He's done it on 32 carries. Now you look around. Right in front of him is Trevor Lawrence, 67, with 113 yards, but on 30 attempts, so 2 less attempts. Jordan Love is 68, 110 yards, 24 attempts. A lot, that's 8 less. C.J. Stroud, 60th, 147 yards on 20 attempts. So just going down the line. So, and then Lamar, who they're likely facing this week, 7.9 yards per carry on 21 attempts. So 21 attempts for Lamar. Now he's been hurt, but Caleb's, he's running it a lot. Ben was asked about if he's running it too much. This is what Ben had to say.
He certainly is extending plays probably more so than most, and so maybe that augments that number a little bit. Really throughout this process in the spring and in camp, we've been pretty consistent with let's drill the footwork, let's have that footwork guide us through our progressions, and there's times where we're really good at it, and there's other times where we maybe are either too fast or we're too slow, and so we're working through that, and I think we're learning from it as well. But yeah, it's still a work in progress.
So I thought it was interesting, that part. Like, sometimes it's too fast, sometimes it's too slow. Like, he's zooming through his progressions at times, so he's not giving a guy a chance to get open. And then other times, he's hanging on someone too much, and before moving on to the next guy. So there's a lot that Ben is seeing, and you can just, listening to him there, you can just sort of feel the coaching behind the scenes. Here, dude, you raced off of this. You probably should have been looking at that. You could have stayed here. On the other side, here, dude, you're like, I'm just imagining the amount of coaching Caleb is getting from somebody that he's trusting more and more. And if I'm being optimistic about it, you would think that that's going to start to click more and more. We'll see it.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to when he sees a coverage that he knows they have the right play in, then he's probably rushing through it. Whereas then when it's not, then he's taking his time because he wants the bigger play. Earlier in the season, I thought he was doing a fantastic job, almost deliberately just going to the check down, even if he could have waited longer to find that player downfield. And so now it's then you also add in the equation, how is your line playing? Is your line blocking well? So now you're feeling like you can extend plays longer to see how things progress. Or if it's like the Saints game where Chase Young's getting in your backfield a little more than you'd like early on. So now you're speeding things up. There's a lot of things that go into that equation of what Caleb Williams' internal clock is. And so we keep saying it's a very simple statement that isn't really an X's and O's, observation. But Caleb Williams just needs to slow himself down. His body and his mind, his feet, everything is just when he's not in rhythm, it's because he's completely sped up. The beauty of Caleb Williams is, for whatever reason, all that goes out the window when it's the fourth quarter and the game's on the line. Then all of a sudden he just snaps into what he needs to be into. And I guess that's what's gotten him to this point and what makes him a great quarterback. But this is going to take time. This is going to take years, plural. And we as Bears fans have to be patient as we go through this process. And the beauty of it, as we showed in our previous segment, they're still going to have explosive plays. Ben Johnson's still going to scheme guys open, and they're still going to put points on the board. May not always be pretty, but when we get to a point where Caleb Williams is just so dialed into the playbook that he's cool, calm, and collected and playing this inner zen quarterback, we're not there yet, and that probably won't come for a few more years.
I do need some inner zen, and I think you are right that patience is always a good thing when it comes to QBs. You can, pick a quarterback around the league that is.
It's all over the league right now.
Right. From Baker, who at least was in the MVP conversation until he had last week. I think that was obviously a significant step back against the Lions.
Baker, Darnold, Jared Goff.
Geno Smith
to a lesser extent, but still, Geno is an example.
Still popped off.
Found his way to another contract.
Right. So, and look, it's also, when it comes to the running part of it, it's a reminder that there isn't one way to play the position and be successful. Lamar ran a ton and was an MVP, and the Ravens won a lot of football games. Now, it didn't work out in the playoffs, but they still won a lot of football games. The number one runner as far as quarterbacks in the league right now is, do you know, Gregory?
The number one runner in the league?
Who leads the NFL in rushing from the quarterback position?
You already said this earlier.
No. That was yards per carry. Total yards. You know him well.
Caleb?
Nope.
Oh, Justin.
That's right. Justin is number one. Jets haven't won a football game.
Didn't he miss a game too?
Yeah, he's 6 games in. I forget exactly.
Yeah, he did miss a game.
Yeah. You know who number 2 is? Josh Allen, 254. They win a lot of football games. So it's like the worst guy ever is, as far as winning games right now is at the top, and then the other guy's 3 yards behind, and he's winning games. The third most rushing quarterback right now in the league is
Jaden Daniels?
Patrick Mahomes.
Jaden's been hurt.
Jaden is 4th.
And he's been hurt, or else he'd be higher on that list.
Drake May's running it a lot right now, which is impressive. 44 rushes for 200 yards. So, look, you got to have it. Being a statue, you don't have to have it, but it makes it a lot harder if you can't move. So these guys can, and their offenses are moving and all the things. We are about to hit our overtime here, unless did you already hit it? You haven't hit it yet. Okay.
No, we haven't hit it.
Okay, well, relax. We
have a watch party coming up on Sunday.
We need more people to come, too.
And everybody that's tuned in right now needs to come out to Joe's on Weed Street this Sunday. Doors open at 10:30 a.m. Pre-game show live starts at 11 a.m. Bears kick off against the Ravens at noon. Then we have live post-game show immediately after, live brick by brick after show. Jerry Azuma, Lance Briggs, Corey Wooten. And then, of course, myself, Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, we will all be there. Steven will be there. Sarah will be there. Emma will be there. Jake will be there. We will all be there, and we hope you can join us. If you go to allchgo.com/events to sign up, you can get a ticket for $10 general admission or an elevated ticket with a drink package included. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Every time we go to Joe's on Wheat Street, whether it's draft party or last year for a Bears game, it's always a good showing by the fans and a good time at Joe's.
Elevate yourself. Did I just accidentally just say Justin Fields is the worst guy ever? I didn't mean to say that if I
Did you
said
say
that. Apparently in the chat I said it.
Oh, the worst record. That's what you said.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But I think I might have said instead of worst record, I think I might have called him the worst guy. I love Justin as a guy. Just not as a quarterback.
Well, I mean, you did have them in the playoffs this year.
I did. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Justin to the playoffs. It would have been sweet. Take is dead. One of the few times I've ever been wrong. Another time, but I was wrong, Greg. I was wrong.
We're working on
I was
Carm.
wrong.
We're working on Carm admitting when he's wrong.
Greg yelled at me before the show today saying that you never admit you're wrong. Like, I'll admit that I'm wrong as many times as I could possibly do it today. I was wrong.
There we go.
But but let's just say you were wrong, then I would never
I'm
admit
never
that I
wrong.
was wrong. All right. I just want to take a moment to shout out the greatest thing that's happened in my life of recent note.
Certainly.
Quite naturally. You're right. I was back on the screen.
Indubitably.
Michael Jordan doing halftime for NBC. I had a huge tennis match last night, as you know, and I lost. Congratulations to Paul Drake, 6-3, 6-1. This idiot cheers when I lose.
Great job, Drake.
Kicked my ass, and believe me, I was really, really, really annoyed. I did not handle myself particularly well on the court. But anyway, I get home last night, and of course, old man Carm, I got to ice everything. So I get on the couch, I got the couple of bags of ice on both Achilles, get on my phone, and I'm like, oh yeah, Jordan, let me watch the video. So I watch the 3 minutes of him talking, and I literally started to get tears in my eyes. I was so happy to see the dude. And then I saw Bill Simmons talking about it this morning. And it's like, literally, I don't care what he talks about. I went to dinner last night. I had a steak and a couple of glasses of wine. And it just puts a smile on your face hearing from him. Michael Jordan makes me so unbelievably happy. And the fact that he was honest, too, last night. Because I've always said, it bugged me to no end the way the run ended in Chicago. I blame the Bulls and their ridiculousness of not just, you just get rid of Jerry Krause and all that. This conversation's been had a million times. But I also blamed Michael at the time as well, because as much as this sucks, you love playing basketball more than you'll ever love anything in your life. And when he was asked last night about playing hoops, he was like, so if I could take a pill and go back and play basketball and wear shorts right now, that's what I would do, because it's who I am. And it's who he is. And nothing has given me greater joy in my life than watching that dude play hoop. And hearing from him is, because he's just never around. It was really a treat last night. I don't know if you've felt the same way.
No, I mean, him telling the story about, the last time he picked up a basketball was when he stayed at a place for the Ryder Cup, and the owner of the house that the guy let him stay at asked him, because they brought the kids and people to take a picture with Mike, and there's a basketball hoop at
the Ryder Cup.
There's a basketball hoop at this house that he stayed at, and so the owners of the house asked Michael if he'd shoot a free throw, and he said that was the most nervous he's been in years.
Because he wanted to live up to being MJ.
He's like, these kids have never seen me play. All they've ever heard is this greatness, and now I'm being put on the spot to make a shot when I haven't shot a free throw in so long.
Tarico did a great job, too. He's like, you switched it, right? He's like, damn right I did.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that just speaks to, like Jordan used to always say, I gave it my all every game. He'd play all 82 games if he could, and he did. And the reason is he always would say, there's somebody sitting in the upper deck that has never seen me play, and I'm going to put on my best show. And that mentality still carries with him today as he's shooting one free throw in the backyard of an Airbnb, for some guy, and their kids. And so for me, Like,
Yeah, I didn't love the Ryder Cup guy, but I need you to shoot one free throw. You settle down there, rich man. In
well,
your house.
it led to a great story.
It did.
You know,
It
I'm
did.
glad the guy had the gumption or the balls to ask him, because
It was very presumptuous of the Ryder Cup man
Yeah.
to ask me. But you know,
he did it.
well, and
I'm surprised MJ did it too.
Well, so that's another thing too, which takes me to an MJ story that I any chance I get to tell an MJ story, I want to tell it. Look, there was a grace to Jordan that gets missed in his competitiveness, because he didn't have to do that. He could have said no, but he did. You let me stay at your house. This kid wants to see it. I'll be gracious. I'll shoot the free throw. And I'm sure he enjoyed part of it too, and he gets to talk about it. But you know, when they won it in '91, the first time against the Lakers, he did not have his gated house yet. He had a house on a street in Highland Park that you could walk up to, and kids in that neighborhood. There's videos of him and Ahmad Rashad and like 3 kids. He's throwing.
Come fly with me.
Yeah, can I? Well, no, this was airtime or whatever it was.
Yeah,
He's,
right.
Can I? You know, I could throw it 65 yards. We can mark it off, and he marks it off on the street, and he throws the football. I don't know if you remember that.
Of course I do.
Right.
I
So
watched that video 9 million times.
Exactly. So
I dreamed of being those kids.
Right. So you know, I wasn't those kids, but you know, I was a senior in high school at the time, and we went to his house because they just landed at O'Hare. All the video, and he's got to come home, right? At least that was the hope. So he pulls in, white Porsche. JJ was his license plate at the time. Michael Jordan, Juanita Jordan, now divorced. Certainly I'm now with Yvette. So they pull in. Juanita goes right in the house. I think I've told this story one time or two before, but so I apologize if you're hearing it for the 8th time. But Jordan sees like there's 40 of us standing out there outside his house, and he just looks at all of us, and everyone's across the street like, you know, there he is. Like, what are we gonna do? And Jordan just extends his hand, and everyone walks up to shake his hand. Like, he was like, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Like, there was a grace to it. He didn't have, you know.
Which nowadays with social media,
Right.
that would never happen. So,
Yeah.
like, that's just a different time.
Yeah.
Although I will say Ben Zobrist, after the Cubs won the World Series, I know there was stories of people going to his house where he lived, and he did the same thing, coming out the front yard signing.
I mean, that
autographs.
still could
And
happen
Ben
today.
was great for it. But it's few and far between because of what social media is.
Right,
So,
maybe there'd be more people there, and then you couldn't do it. It's like, but
Right.
in this, you know, whatever. Anyway, it was just a very
Yeah, I mean,
gracious thing to do.
I say it all the time. I feel bad for the people that didn't get to watch him play. He is the reason I'm the sports fan that I am today, and the reason I sit in this chair is because of Michael. You know, when we went to London for the Bears game, you know, the thing that stands out to you and the impact he had in sports is when you talk to Bears fans in London that are from all over the world, whether it's Germany or Mexico or England or wherever, Denmark, Australia. When you ask them, how did you become a Bears fan, they have 2 answers. And it's either, well, my parents were fans of the 85 Bears, and so now I'm a Bears fan, or Michael Jordan. I'm a fan of Chicago sports because of Michael Jordan, and that made me a Bears fan too. And so, like, that, Michael transcended into other sports he put Chicago globally on the map, and there's a large amount of fans out there that are Chicago Bears fans because of Michael. And that to tie it back to what we do here is, you know, Chicago Bears podcast, Michael is the best. Hearing from him, I can't wait to these segments to continue, even if they're short and sweet. I hope he does more little things like this, because he did talk about, hey, I want to give back to the game while I'm still here. And, hey, we saw it with Kobe. You know, Kobe's no longer with us, and that sucks. And so, you know, we want to give Michael his flowers while he's still around,
Right.
but for him to give his wisdom too, and his perspective and his opinions is valued, and we haven't heard enough from him in the last 20 years, and that's great that NBC's brought him into the fold.
Certainly, go pay it forward.
And even though the NBA on NBC song has been around on FS1 the last few years, it hits different when it's leading into NBA on NBC for NBA basketball. So that was cool too.
Yeah, it's I think iconic is the word. Anyway, all right, we got to go. Great to have MJ back. We're creeping towards game time. On Sunday, we'd love to see you out at Joe's. Let's hit some super chats on the way out here. $5 from Greg Baggs Jr. on the second one today. I agree with Carm for the first time. LOL. I mean, it took the Lions, a couple of years to be good under the great Ben Johnson, right? Greg Baggs Jr., you're growing up to be a brilliant young man. Congratulations. It's good to have you on board.
A big bag.
We did the Brandon thing. Isaac Siegel, $10. I know it's random, but did anyone else notice that Ben has called toss plays fairly regularly, even while with it raining and the ball's wet, especially after Daniel's fumble? That is random. I honestly I haven't noticed that.
What was great about Swift's run chart, if you looked on Next Gen Stats against the Commanders, all on the outside of the tackles, and then against the Saints, all on the inside of the tackles. So Ben is gonna switch it up on you and do whatever's best. He's the mad scientist.
Yeah, I noticed a little bit of this, Isaac. It looks like Ben's pulling the guards a lot, and if it's Joe Tooney at left guard, he's pulling him to the right, and he's getting that running start as a lead blocker for DeAndre Swift.
I mean, I'm more noticing that they're running successfully to the left, they're running successfully to the right.
They're doing it.
You want to take Juju Bean?
Juju Bean, $5 super chat. Ravens fan here. Biggest question is Lamar and Pat Ricard. If Pat plays, expect the run offense to be way better than it has been. Otherwise, O-line is poop.
Well done.
Yeah, Ricard, really good fullback, really, really good blocker. He's a good short yardage guy as well, and he's a lot of times he's that lead blocker for Lamar Jackson.
Well, we'll get our whiteboard walkthrough
tomorrow,
a.k.a. Whiteboard Wisdom, a.k.a. Whiteboard Wasted, with Adam Hoge tomorrow. We're efforting some special guests potentially for tomorrow. Adam Johns should join us from Halas Hall as well. So we've got a lot of things to discuss. I believe Caleb Williams is speaking to the press here later today, so maybe we'll bring some of that to you guys tomorrow. So a lot to be excited about. One day closer to game day.
I'm excited about you.
I'm excited about me too, because I get to go to Rupp Arena on Friday, but we got to go.
We do have to go. Blackhawks coming up, and Bulls right around the corner. Have a great rest of your day right here on CHGO, and we will talk to you tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
We all silly like the mayor.